What's poppin', guys? Welcome back to Sam Talk Sports. Let's talk about the Cardinals versus Rams NFC wildcard playoff game. Like I expected, the Rams completely dominated the Cardinals. Essentially the entire game, they were leading comfortably. But for this video, I'm going to be focusing on the Cardinals. Their future, what's going to happen next season. Is Kyler Murray the future at the quarterback position for the Cardinals? Let's dive right in. Alright, first off, just breaking down this game. Shout out once again to ESPN, my trusted sports website. Kyler Murray really had an awful game. And I feel like this is quite an unexpected situation, especially for quarterbacks who are playing in their first playoff game, minus Joe Burrow. But usually you're gonna feel a different intensity, and the game is usually much more faster than usual. So Kyler Murray really wasn't able to adjust. And I feel like for the Cardinals, this result wasn't shocking in the sense that they started the season hot, 7 straight wins. At one point in the season they were 10-2, but they lost 4 of their last 5 games, and then they lost the wildcard playoff game. So that's 5 losses in the last 6 games. They really struggled to end the season. And if you look at the stats, Kyler Murray, there really wasn't much promise when you just look at the stats. At an average of 4 yards per throw, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns, only 137 yards. Quite some uninspiring numbers. The rushing game was also mitigated by the Rams, 3.4 yards per carry. And I think I also mentioned this in the preview video. I think not having DeAndre Hopkins really hurt the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, because had Hopkins been in this game, I felt like Murray would be more comfortable and have more confidence. And Hopkins will make some plays happen, make some first downs happen, and it would have been a much different story for the Cardinals had Hopkins been in the game. Although I don't think Hopkins was the reason why the Cardinals lost. But overall, I think this was a great learning experience for Arizona. Like I mentioned before, this was the first time they made the playoffs in 6 years. This was Kyler Murray's first playoff experience. So even though he had a bad game, I'll give him a pass, because I feel like he can learn from this. He'll learn from this. And Kliff Kingsbury, he has, allowed the Cardinals to improve every single season from 5 wins to 8 wins to 10 wins. To 11 wins. So there was this article that said that has Arizona Cardinals coach Kliff Kingsbury reached his ceiling. I would say no way, Jose, man. It's way too early to, say that, okay, Kliff Kingsbury, he's done with the Cardinals. He's not going to allow this team to improve. He has improved in all 3 seasons. And yes, this was a tough playoff loss, but it was their first playoff game with Murray and Kingsbury as the quarterback and coach tandem. So, what's going to happen with the Cardinals this upcoming offseason? I am still a fan of the Cardinals. I think they will return to the playoffs next year, even this ultra super competitive NFC West, which is the toughest division in football, in my opinion. If you look at the Cardinals, like I mentioned before, they started off hot and then they just faltered down the stretch. This was a great learning experience for them as well. I feel like next season, Murray and the team will realize that, just starting off hot isn't going to mean that much, because you need to have consistency throughout the whole season. And usually the teams that make it further in the playoffs to the Super Bowl are quite solid, quite consistent all year. It's not like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of situation, which the Cardinals experienced this season. And I think the biggest question the Cardinals need to answer this offseason is Kyler Murray going to be your quarterback for the future? In the 3 seasons Kyler Murray played, they have improved every season. But what's going to be concerning for the Cardinals is Kyler Murray is playing on his rookie contract. And by the looks of things, he probably will demand a max deal, or over $30 million a year in his next contract. And that will really limit the amount of money that the Cardinals can spend on other areas such as the defense, offensive line. And in a similar situation we could see on the Seahawks, Russell Wilson got paid, and some critics were complaining or thinking that because Russell Wilson got paid, so they were able to upgrade the offensive line and stuff like that. So will this situation kind of happen with Kyler Murray? You know, it's definitely a great question, especially given how many unrestricted free agents the Cardinals will have in the upcoming offseason. Chandler Jones, Zach Ertz, which was a great pickup, AJ Green, you know, and like I mentioned before, Kyler Murray, he made $11 million this year. No, yeah, he was the first pick, but that's a decent amount for the quarterback position. It's not gonna blow your bank, and so I think for the 5th-year option, the quarterback franchise tag is definitely the way to go. As you can see here in the article on CarsWire, Kyler Murray's 5th-year option in 2023 will cost Cardinals more than $23 million. And this is a high price to pay, but in terms of Kyler Murray's talent and how he has improved each and every year in the NFL, I like it. I think this is a reasonable amount, but I feel like next year is a critical season for the Arizona Cardinals and their future, because if Kyler Murray continues to improve and the Cardinals find success in the playoffs, then I think the Kingsbury-Murray, this pairing, is great, and I think the future of the Cardinals will be quite bright. But if, say example, Kyler Murray gets injured or he had a bad year, a down year, then for me, in the back of my mind, I'll kind of be worried about whether I want to pay Kyler Murray big time money as a franchise quarterback. So far, despite the playoff loss by the Cardinals and Murray's subpar performance, I'm so confident in the Cardinals, and I think Murray will be the franchise quarterback of the Cardinals for the near future, maybe the next decade. But next year, like I mentioned before, is going to be a gigantic year for this Cardinals team. But I have real confidence in them that they'll pull through and improve. Alright, that's the end of this breakdown. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to live a spicy life. Peace.